It is great to be here. Your host is Christoffel, and we are hosting dear Christoffel Sneijders, ICF, MCC executive coach, a therapist, author, and educator renowned for his innovative three brains intelligence model, which integrates the head, heart, and gut instinct to enhance decision-making and personal transformation, with over 33 years of coaching, training, consulting, and educating across Europe, the Middle East, Asia, the USA, and Australia. If you're okay, we can go on and have your presentation, in which I know that we may have your more detailed introduction, which is really interesting, and then go into the topic.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Please.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was waiting for you until you say, now, Christoffel, take over. So I was just waiting for you.
Yeah. It is our pleasure to have you here. Please, go on.
Yeah. So, there we are. Sorry, I was in the meantime putting there. So, welcome to everyone. As said, I will talk slower to give the translation a chance to follow up. Everybody, good to see you. It is good to see you. I see that everybody has his camera off, so it is talking to all silent people. That's okay. And some have a picture in their Google Meet, so at least see a picture, so I know it's female or male or what it is. Because for me, to be honest, if I see a name in Arab, it does not always give me the answer. Is it more male or more female? How should I address to you?
Everything is okay. Dear.
So what are we going to do?
Dear Hooman. Yeah, the first name with dear would be okay.
Okay. So there's the share screen. Yes, it works. And now just checking. Was this good enough to see?
Yeah.
Hooman?
Can you please make it full page in order to be bigger and easier to capture?
Yeah, we could do that. Play full screen. The only thing is, if I do it full screen from my side, I don't see you or anybody else anymore. I have a huge screen of my presentation. So that's the only thing that stops me. Let me see if I can make it. Sorry, don't.
Let me see. Let me see how.
Is this better? No. Or you don't see a difference?
Yeah, it is really good. Yeah, everything is okay.
Okay,
if you're okay, we can go on.
Yeah, no, it's more that I can also still see you. I see the percentage. I see some people, so at least I know that I'm talking. Otherwise, I'm talking to my own screen where I present. That's also really strange. So, welcome. As I said, welcome again. And as said, we will do our best so that Amir can give a beautiful translation. Amir, thank you so much for doing so.
You're welcome.
Three brains intelligence. Hooman knows about it. So if you have ever questions, you can ask Hooman, what does he mean? But having said that, we're going to bring you something we all know, but it doesn't mean we all use it. And it can really bring a change in coaching and how you can get long-lasting results with your clients. And we talk about head, heart, and gut brains. And we come back to that later, how it works and why it works. As Hooman already said, who am I? But just you have the slide, because I will send the slide back to Hooman so he can distribute it to you, so you can read it back. This is me, MCC coach, 30 years of experience, lived everywhere, now in Spain, and also be a therapist. So I've seen, say, client change from both sides. And also the author of 2 books, what is about 3 brains. And one coming up later, that is more for the coaching leadership world. So what's my takeaway, my intention? That you become aware why three brains intelligence is important for you and your clients. The essentials of the science. What's the impact of coaching from those three? Now, I would say challenge conventional wisdom in that part. Some practical insights and actionable insights. And I don't know if you did it or not, but you can also check your own three brains preference, although it's not in Arab on this moment. So I still then look at Hooman and would say, hey, Hooman, can you translate it for me? Then we can also have that language to do the test. But this in 16 languages, only not say in Arab. And if you ever like to learn more and your English is good enough, a little gift for you, for me.
I'm so sorry, I couldn't catch that. 16 languages. It has been translated into 16 languages.
So
what was that?
Yeah. So the preference test is translated in 60 languages, only still not in Arab. I'm still working on that one.
Hey, Christoffel, I think there is a misunderstanding. Our native language is Persian or Farsi.
Okay. Oh, excuse me.
Persian, where we are, it is Persian. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Hooman. So you see, assumption makes an ass of me and myself. But I know you're Persia, one of the oldest countries where civilization started. So I honor that and know that. Just like the watch I have and has 12 numbers is coming from Persia, that we have a 12 there in the watch. But my assumption was...
the numbers, the type of writing, the writing and the alphabets are somehow the same.
Yeah, I know, but in my thought process, I thought, probably the whole peninsula somewhere speaks now more Arab. So that's okay. Good to know that you speak Persian and still keep that alive. That is beautiful. Don't ever let it slip away. The beautiful tradition. Okay, anyhow, it's also not in Persian translated, Hooman. Also love to have that one. Okay, so if you know the language, you can do it and there's 16 languages as said, and not in Persian. You scan it and you can see where you can go. You don't have to do it now, but it's nice for yourself to see, because you become aware actually which brain of you is more dominant, and you will become aware why it's so important to know that later.
And Christoffel, we are still on the first slide. Obviously,
Yes.
to go further.
Hey, what? Oh, that's interesting. I'm already a few slides further. That's interesting. So it does not work as I like that it works. That's interesting. Because I'm already 2 slides further. So this is good that you say that to me. Was when we tested it the first time, it worked beautifully. So let's see if it now works. Yes, now it works. Okay. So that was conventional wisdom, and this was who I am. Okay. Now you see it. Okay, so you know it's in the slide pack you will see later. And this is the picture I said for if you like to do the test. Okay. Now it makes sense. Thank you so much, Hooman, for making me aware. Because I was looking at all the faces and I didn't see my own presentation. I just see my own big slide pack. Okay. So why do we need another approach? Why is a new approach needed? Not only because we need something new and it's biologically proven, but also there's a massive amount of money spent in global training. And I heard yesterday the numbers actually that they expect in 2028, even that this will triple, this number. So in 4 or 5 years, it will triple the number, especially also in online trainings. So now why is it so important to add something else? Because if you look at engagement of people, it is, I would say, horrible. Globally, 23%. And due with all respect, Iran is not doing any better than this global statistic of 23%. I looked it up in the Gallup organization, and I saw the number is 19%, 19 for Iran. What does it mean? 1 out of 5 employees is engaged in their work. That means 4 out of 5 are not engaged. And if you look globally to the best practice organizations, those are organizations who follow the Gallup insights or just have amazing leadership. They hit 70%. You could say that is great, but I love sports. And say you would have a football team. I know Iran also loves football, so we can talk about that. And 7.
I'm so sorry, Christoffel. I'm so sorry. I just fell behind. What was that figure? 70%. It was about the whole world.
No, 70%. Good that you say that, Amir. Is the best practice organizations. Those are organizations that develop that follow the Gallup advice. So hired Gallup to give them advice how to create successful organizations, or are just organizations who invest a lot of people.
Okay, just let me translate this.
Yep, we can go on.
Okay, good, Amir. So, as I said, Amir, I love football. I love sports. And I know Iran also loves football. So, a question to all of you. If 7 of the 10 players are engaged, what is the chance you will win the game?
At most 70, I guess.
There's not a lot of chance because 3 people are not engaged. And if your keeper is not engaged, you have an issue.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I wait for Amir stop. So for me, those numbers are even still not good enough. So if you see how much we invest and what's the result, for me, there's a mismatch. I would say, Hooman, it's better they give the money to us and we do something good with it. And Amir can also share.
I couldn't quite catch this part. You meant that...
Now, for me, there's a mismatch between, say, the investment of money and the results we get in engagement of people.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because sometimes we have 7 out of 10 engaged, but we are not sure about 100% efficiency of all members engaged. So the total efficiency or effectiveness is around 50 or lower.
Absolutely. I will wait for Amir to translate it because...
Yeah, carry on.
Okay, and so this and other things made me aware we have to do something different. And then to ask, and Amir, you can even see the sentences coming into the slides. Who of you has clients, or maybe yourself, have issues with procrastination, eating unhealthy, maybe sleeping issues, not falling asleep, twisting and turning in your bed, setting boundaries or saying no, meaning taking care of yourself and your own needs. Or maybe getting more clients or increase the price. Or not showing empathy. That's more our clients. or have depressions or anxieties. I could ask you, just put a yes or no in the chat if you recognize those for yourself or your clients.
As long as I've coached for about 1,000 hours, I think these are the most common issues that clients come to us with us.
Yes. So
we can see a lot of yeses there.
Awesome. So then who is in charge of you to make these bad decision moments? Because they're not logical. Logically, we know they're not good. But we do them, or our clients. So who makes the decision? So then the other side of the medal is, how does regret work? Who of you made a decision and regretted it? And then asked yourself, why did I not think about this? I see Hooman nodding already.
Yeah, it is. It happens on and on.
Yeah. Or, why did I not follow my heart? Or, why did I not listen to my gut feeling? I think we all did. And just like Hooman, I can raise my hand on all three of them.
Yeah, you know, sometimes one of them you think, and you don't pay attention enough to your heart or gut, and later you may have a kind of regret.
Yeah.
Why didn't I listen to my heart?
Yeah.
And vice versa.
And the beauty is, we all know it or experienced it, but we still do it. And now, if you think about it, I'm looking at Amir if he stops talking, then what is actually the criteria if you advise your friend, think about it. What is the criteria you say to them, this is the way you have to make a decision on? And to make it more difficult, Hooman, or everybody else, what if you say to somebody, follow your heart? What are the decision criteria for following your heart? Where does your heart decide on? And last but not least, if you say, listen to your gut feeling, what are the criteria for your gut to make a decision? So we could say we all use it, we all know it, probably all advised it, but actually we are not sure what it actually means.
But based on my experience, then we are using our thoughts, we are using the logical and rational process. When we follow our heart, we are going into emotions and feelings. And when we are talking about gut, of course, we are paying attention to our instinct more than what we should to our logical process and emotional one.
Yeah. Beautifully said, Hooman. But what is instinct and what are emotions? And which emotions or which instinct? Because you have a mother instinct and a survival instinct. To which instinct are you referring? Yeah. So, and that's also what made me think further in my track from, okay, how can I bring this to coaching and give answers to this? And there are answers, by the way. We come back to that. And by the way, for everybody, if you have a question in between, because I can talk about this 8 days as the founder of Three-Based Intelligence. We have 2 hours and I'm not allowed to talk quick. So get the best out of it and just ask. If you don't agree, if you like to know more, just ask. Put it in the chat. Amir or Hooman will translate it and we come back to it. My intention is that you get value of this presentation. My intention is not that I go through the slide pack because I know it. I master it actually. Okay, so one step back while I let Amir talk. This is the old way how we thought about decision making. That's actually how our head works. And then especially the red part here, concentration, planning, and problem solving, is in most neuroscience explanations said as here are the decisions made. The frontal lobe or the prefrontal lobe, biologically shared. And I'm going to explain to you that although this is extremely important, it's not your boss. But one step back, why is the head so important? It takes 20% of your energy, 25% of your oxygen. So evolution or the creator made this an important part of our body. It works on sugar, glucose, hence that's why we love sweets. And I know Iran loves sweets. And you have amazing sweets, by the way. I know. Not good for the belly, but so good. And it has 100,000 million brain cells, or called neurons. So it is amazing. Everyone has 5,000 to 10,000 connections. So do the math or ask ChatGPT to do it. It's dazzling amount of number. 500 trillion connections performing. What it does is it gets information from the outside world and the inside world. It gets 11 million signals per second from the body, 10,000 from your eyes, 1 million, 10 million, 1 million from your skin, 100,000 from your ears, and your smell, 100,000 and 1,000. It's all being processed there. In my explanation, you could see your head as the control tower of an airport. It sees all the planes. It gives direction to all the planes. But the planes don't have to listen. They can still ignore the signals from upstairs. Having said that, without a control tower on the airport, it would be one amazing mess. Yeah, so
sorry, what was the amazing mess? What was that again? What was that part? Sorry, missed that part.
If the control tower of an airport is not there, it becomes an amazing mess. Okay. So now come why a different solution is needed. I'm just going to throw some numbers to you to make you aware actually how good or bad we are. So you have success rate is after half a year or 1 year or 2 years, the behavior or change is still there. Happiness rate is how happy are you after the session? And that's a huge difference. Eh? After all your coachings, I assume all your clients are happy. Success rate is, do they still do it after 1 year? Let's see. McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, Accenture. If you think about culture change, what do you think is the success rate if you hire those expensive people? More or less than, say, 50%? I love your communication coaching network, because you already say down. Less, yes, it is. I will show you, it's 41% maximum. And McKinsey claims 75% if you do all the things they say. Psychologists, I hope nobody's a psychologist here, because you really suck at your job, if that's allowed to say. You're really bad at your job, to say it more nicely. Excuse me, I've lived in Australia, Perth, and there, if you don't use swearing words, you're not being seen as a normal person. So I still have sometimes that attitude in me after living there for 9 years.
I'm so sorry. You said swear words if you don't use swear words. Yeah, swear words, right?
Words are totally normal in Perth, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't use them, they don't see you as a male. Yeah, I know coaching network. There are strange people there. That's why they are the other side of the world. Okay, psychologist, you don't do a good job. Excuse me. Coaching, we do a little bit better, 55%. Hypnotherapy, what's also my trade, the same number somewhere. You can discuss, psychology has more difficult clients than us, but it's not an excuse, because they do a study of 4 years. You become a coach after 100 hours. A really great coach needs more, by the way. By the way, if you advise anybody to do repetition, success rate is 6%. So action plans don't work. And think about, at least in Europe, you have the 1st of January resolutions. And the 1st of January, we make all the good ideas. Eat less, be sweeter, work hard, etc. Sport more. And research shows within 2 weeks, people stop. That's repetition. Do something until it becomes a habit. Useless. And it's not because repetition is not successful. People don't stick to it. That makes it unsuccessful. We come back to that later. And I wait for Amir.
And of course, I think
Just
it is something that we do in the modern world. I'm sorry, Amirjan, to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Just one point. Christoffel, you mean that it's simply repeating things again and again, it doesn't mean that you can develop the habits, right?
No, so if you do it and you keep on doing it, success rate is high. But people don't stick to it.
But so maybe I got a little bit confused here. So 6% is
success is, say you say to 100 people, do it. Only 6 will do it. The whole
6 will do it. Okay, I got it.
And coaching network not really hard, because he thinks the 1st of January.
Hello, Christopher. It's nice to meeting you. Actually, my name is Bahar Mazandarani, and I'm the head of Coaching Network, Iran Coaching Network. So that's why my name is here, is Coaching Network, because I'm the host and I need to do the breakout rooms. So that's why, but I'm so nice to meet you.
Awesome. Good to meet you. And you understand English. That's also nice. So this is the explanation, actually, Amir. Sorry, it was in my slides. And now one question. A dentist or a heart surgeon to replace a heart valve, like I had last year, or changing a tooth fitting like a dentist, they both have a success rate of 99% in doing their job. Now imagine you go to a dentist Hooman, and you ask, I need a new filling, and the dentist says, my average success rate is 41% maximum, Hooman. Would you go to that dentist?
Surely no.
No. So why is it acceptable for McKinsey to be proud of this? Or 55% success rate as we as coaches have?
I think we should add something else to it in order to make something better out of it.
Absolutely, yeah. And there you find my passion. I don't like to fail. I have an extreme allergy of not making my clients happy and successful. So in all my studies, that's why I said I studied clinical psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, actually also Reiki, NLP, constellations, provocative coaching, blah, 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 etc. For one reason, how can people change? Successfully. And why is that important? Because if you fail, you install a belief in yourself, you cannot. And then the change becomes even harder and harder, because then they come to you and they say, I tried it already 3 times. And I don't succeed, so probably I cannot. So then you have 2 things to work on. A belief I cannot, and helping them over the topic.
Sorry, I couldn't catch the last sentence. Off the topic? What was that again? I'm sorry.
It's good. So what I said, if people don't succeed, they install a belief I cannot. And then they come to you with actually 2 problems. Perfect. Okay. And Einstein already said, the fuzzy hair, doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result, is the law of insanity. You can see the text there, Amir.
Okay.
So there was a question about the numbers. I just typed in the chat. They're all based on research. McKinsey, IBM, Accenture actually publish research numbers. And for the psychology, hypnotherapy, also the associations, and there is external research documents on those. Okay, so let's go on. And now let's go back to ourselves about our 3 brains. So the first memory we have in our life, what is your age? Or to say better, does anybody remember something before the age of 3? Hooman, 46. Oh yes, 43. No. Your first memory. Most people will not have an answer before they were 3 years old. So that means, and this is a question, the answer is no. So if people don't have a memory before the year of 3, can we then just abuse our kids? Cold water shower, hit them, don't give them food because they don't remember? And of course I said, horrible question, answer is no.
Can you come this part again?
Yes, of course. So
Yeah.
if we don't have a memory before of the year 4 or 3, can we then just abuse our kids because they don't remember? And I said already, the answer is no. So we all know we remember, only not in our head. Why is this important? Because it connects with the second question. When is the average age we learn next week and last week? When do we get the concept of time? Eva says 5, you're close. And research says between 6 and 8 years. But 5 can also be good if you are as smart as like you, Eva. Why is this important for us as coaches? Because now imagine a little story, Amir. So in the morning during breakfast, one of the parents is saying, I have an extremely important presentation for a client. My boss is nervous, I'm nervous. If it goes wrong, the company will suffer. The parents comes home at 6 o'clock and sees the little child of 4 years old and says, why don't you do your homework? Why don't you clean up your room, wash your hands, and then come back? What does the little kid think on that moment?
I'm not sure
I
about
think-
the rational process, but I know, based on the books I have read, that children, even at an early age, 1 year, they get something from those actions around them, from those caregivers, and they affect what they have with themselves, the history, and all those things that they have together with them at the age of 20 or above.
Yeah. You're right. Eh? What happens when there are underneath 7 as time? What happens? They don't remember the story of the breakfast. They only remember my parent is angry because I did not clean my room, I did not do my homework, I did not wash my hands. So they don't do cause and effect. What it means that we, all of us, make beliefs before the age 7 in the current moment. So we misinterpret things that happens to us. And when we are adults like us, Hooman, with a little bit of gray hair, we can still carry those beliefs with us. Because this one, our head, never rationalized what was happening. And probably we even don't remember. So
But have a kind of vague picture of it, or the effect that will carry on.
no, we have something like a memory. Yeah, dad was a lot of times, or mommy was sometimes nervous, but it stays there. So what does it mean for us in coaching? When you like to solve it logically, it does not make sense, because here is not the emotion stored. The emotion is stored somewhere in our body. So in coaching, most of the things become aware, what you said, procrastination, eating, boundary setting, tough meetings, getting clients, they are not rational, because we all know we have to solve them. They're connected with what we learned when we were young. So if you then think in coaching, we have to do something different. Like the question there. We have to do something else. Who's in charge of our habits, behaviors, and emotions? Now, you know the answer because it's your 3 brains. By the way, why your head does not know, and Amir, you can read it. 9 months after being born, your head still grows 250 million new connections an hour. We get a big.
Can you say that figure again? 200,000 again?
So you can see there, 9 months after birth, we grow 250 million connections in our head. And after year 3, we start pruning them away to optimize our head. That's why we don't have a memory before year 3. At least not in our head, a memory. And so not in your heart. Okay, so let's now go back to biology. Amir, we spoke about the head.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? This is maybe my own question. I'm wearing my participant's hat. Is that why? Yeah. So look, why we cannot have that memory in our head because of the number of actually connections? That is the problem, or no? It's something else.
No. Good question. Now, because our brain, when we get born, is 80% of the size. Otherwise, mama would not love us. If your head comes out of your mama, Amir, she would not like you that size. So your head has to grow. So your head is not fully functioning. So it grows all those connections, and because it's growing, it cannot store the memories. Because if it has a memory, new connections are made. So that memory disappears again. After it starts organized your brain, and then we can start memorizing it, because then it is all in place.
Okay, I got it. Okay. Is it okay if you just clarify this? Because that was my question.
So you mean that we are having new wiring of our brain every hour, 250,000.
The first 3 years of the first 9 months of your life. The first 3 years of your life, your head grows to this size. So when we are 3, we have somewhere this size head. So it's almost like you have a building being built, and because it's being built, and every time something else is added, the floor, the ceilings, the windows, it changes so much that the original stones, you don't see the original stones anymore. And Hiva said we did something wrong. I said we all did.
You can count on me as well.
Yes, because we don't get an explanation how to raise kids or how this works. I would have loved to have it for my kids.
Okay.
So
thank you.
Good, Amir. Biology. So this is how we are sometimes educated. We have reptilian brain, emotional brain, human brain. And Amir, you can use your own words. This is totally not true scientifically. It's a big lie. Science shows that a reptilian, like a crocodile, has actually the build-up to make 3 brains like this. And if a crocodile has, it is not a reptilian brain anymore.
So we can guess that crocodiles also make mistakes.
Yes, so the reptilian brain does not exist in that ID. So now some logic. This is a living creature, Amir, and everybody else, that is in your sea. If you would go out of Iran, you jump into the sea, you will find this somewhere on the floor of the seabed. It's a living creature, not an animal, really. I'm curious if somebody knows what is the name of this little creature. I only know it in English, so the name. Why I ask it, to let you never forget this. This is a sea cucumber. And everybody who once went into the sea probably knows them. They look like a cucumber. They have this size. Why is it so important to become aware of this? Because this living creature is missing two things we all the time discussed. What we humans have. What is it missing? Besides arms and legs, because that's obvious. What is
Thinking
it?
and emotion.
Yeah, it doesn't have thinking, so what does it miss? It does not have a
They
head.
don't have brain.
It doesn't have a head, eh? You're right. Does it have a heart, Hooman? No. So, stay with me for a second, eh? So, a living creature can eat, find food, reproduce, scare off predators, run away from predators, without a heart or without a head, and can stay alive. So then, how important is a 20% taking energy thing on our shoulders? If all around us are living creatures without this and do an amazing job. So then if you now would look at us, you have a digestive system like that actually in you. From there to a point I will not touch. And we have a head. Who of those would be the most important in the end decision? Your head or your gut?
Of course, the final decision comes from the
No.
gut.
Hiva. So if a living creature can live without a head, why would our head then be the most important? I have to say, so pity, it's your gut. And Hiva, I'm going to challenge you. And everybody else. Just imagine, you make a shopping list with all healthy food on it. Because you like to live healthy. Then you don't do breakfast, you don't do lunch, you don't do dinner and go shopping. Almost like Ramadan. And then you go into the grocery store. What will you buy? Your shopping list or something else? And don't tell me that you will follow your shopping list, Eva. All the junk food. Yes, but who's in charge of that? That's what your gut says. Absolutely. Chocolate. Oh yes, Marcia, you're my friend.
I need a Coke.
Yes.
Although I'm a Coke-free diet these days, but I need a Coke when I haven't eaten or drunk anything for hours.
Yeah, juicy chips, all the things, your gut thinks I need quick energy, sugars, fat, and grease. So this is an example how your gut overruns your logical list what you made. And only a few people will stick to their list. And they become aircraft pilot or surgeon. Because they are really capable of overriding their emotions, all of them. Although food-wise, surgeons don't believe that because they eat everything. But pilots are rather... So, what does it mean because we're coaches? What does it mean for us coaches? If the gut does not agree, it will not happen. Because then a beautiful list that your client writes down, the gut says, don't do it, I'm not in. Okay, so now talk about head and gut. There's another one, and that's your heart, of course. But first, your gut brain to make it concrete. You can see it here. Second brain, 98, Dr. Michael Gershwin researched it, wrote a book about it. It has 500 million brain cells, or neurons are they called. It's the same size as as a smart dog, like a border collie. Not the Chihuahua. Chihuahua has 350 million brain cells. Chihuahuas are stupid. Didn't say that.
What is Chihuahua, by the way?
No, Chihuahua is stupid. And border collie, the dogs that hurts the sheep are It's much smarter. They have 500 million. So your gut brain, or your gut, is capable, and you can see it here, Amir, to release all the neurotransmitters or hormones to keep you alive. An important point for people who don't know biology: male and female, men and women, have exactly the same neurotransmitters and hormones. We all have the same. Maybe in a different amount, but we all have the same. We all have testosterone, and we all have estrogen. We all have all the hormones. So we can produce everything we need. Only one hormone neurotransmitter the gut cannot make. And then we come to the heart. But this is a video, and Dr. Michael Gershman is talking. I hope now the sound works, because I did it in my test with Hoomen. On the left side, Amir, is the intestine of a guinea pig with, Hiva, wait 2 minutes and you get the answer. Is the guinea pig with the nerve system, say the brain intact. On the left, it has, say, the nerve systems around the intestine. On the right, they stripped off the nerve system, so it's only the intestine. And now you're going to see what happens if they put a pellet in there.
Let me just translate this.
Yes, of course. I will shut.
Look, a second. I don't know really if the picture has been flipped. No, I don't think so. The left one is the right one is the one which has got no nerve system, right?
Yeah,
the right one.
The intrinsic circuitry is called nerve system.
Intrinsic circuitry. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So let's see what happens.
Now you notice this is a guinea pig
intestine,
and there's nothing there. The brain and the gut and the guinea pig are in the garbage, and the bowel has detected that pellet, and it's moving it along. And that is the law of the intestine, the peristaltic reflex. Oral contraction, anal relaxation is propellant. And if you take the intrinsic circuitry out and put the pellet in, nothing happens. The muscle twitches a little, but it doesn't move. So that was a coordinated neural reflex, and it works on itself.
Okay, so that's the explanation, Amir.
Oh, yeah, we need a little bit of clarification on this.
And
I'm so sorry. Yes,
it makes sense. So if the nerve system is intact and you put something in the intestine noticed it, makes a decision what to do with it, gives a signal to the muscles to do something, and the muscles remove the pellet.
I got it. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christopher, for gives us time for the second room. We have 20 people there, and they keep listening. So Amir is translating right now. Thank you.
I know, because I did the same also for Ukraine and for Russia, so I know the translator needs time for that. That's totally okay.
We are done.
Thank you very much indeed, Christopher. Thank you.
And the right one, when there is no nerve system, you see nothing happens. So what does it show? Your intestine, your gut brain, can make decisions without the head. By the way, don't test it at home.
Not only dangerous for children, but all human.
Yes, don't use it on your dog, cat, or something else. Okay, let's go to the heart. Because he wants to know which hormone does the heart release. The heart brain, introduced by neurocardiologist André Amour. It has all the clarifications like a brain. It's actually on top of the heart. But that's for details. It can make decisions and decide by itself. And now the hormone. Hiva, I can ask you the question. So the gut brain is like a sea cucumber. Does a sea cucumber have friends? No. So when we are born, do we need our parents to take care of us? Or can we just, like a sea cucumber, survive after day one? So what is extremely important, that your parents love you. And that you love your parents, but your parents love you. And therefore we need a neurotransmitter, a hormone. And it is called oxytocin. That's the first one, oxytocin. And that's released by the heart and also by the pineal gland in the head. The gut brain cannot do that. So the heart brain is responsible for connecting. And I just ask you all, where do you feel love? In your heart. Who once has his heart broken? Besides me. You feel it in your heart. Hooman, I see you laugh. So the heart is simpler in the hormones, but there's an extremely important function for us coaches also to connect. Okay, I will skip this one because that's a video and it's totally English, so it doesn't make sense. Your heart brain, to give some extra proof, if you got a heart transplant, so your heart gets to another one, Prof. Gary researched that in 300 patients. Everybody had changes, psychological changes. Likes and dislikes, what they wanted for food and not for food. Hobbies, sports, all kind of things. The most famous story is a little kid that got a heart transplant. She was 8 years old. And got intrusive dreams, nightmares about a murder. She went to a psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist actually said, it is true. The dreams are real. So they went to the police. And they came aware the donor was a 10-year-old girl who was murdered. Based on the dreams, they found actually who did it. That can only be explained if the heart has a memory. And there are much more examples of these. So your heart can remember.
It was really amazing.
Yes. So knowing this, what does it mean for us coaches? One step back, this is the last one about biology, then we go to coaching. We know these stats. Gut brain communicates with neurotransmitters. The heart brain, neurotransmitters, and two things more. Biophysical communication, boom, 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 boom. The strength of your heartbeat gives a signal to the rest of your body how you are. Secondly, electromagnetic. When you do the boom, 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 and sends an electromagnetic signal out that is, Amir, 1,000 times stronger than the one in your head and can be measured or received up to 3 to 9 meters outside your body. So when we connect in the same room, our hearts can sense each other. And they communicate with each other, research also showed. And then your head we spoke with. Your head has two things the rest of the body doesn't have, and that makes it interesting for coaching. One, it has time, as we discussed, the 7-year moment. This is the only part that knows time. Eh? Your heart and your gut are always living in the now. Otherwise, that choice in the shop, masla, would not be like that. Your gut brain says, now I need it. And it does not care about your masla, what will happen next week on the scale. Or if you don't fit your clothes anymore. And it has spoken language. What gives us as coaches the option to come aware which brain is talking. Because when we verbalize something, sorry.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't catch that part about spoken language. That was another distinguishing feature of head brain, right?
Yeah.
It can analyze a spoken language or produce a spoken language. What was that?
No, it's the only part that knows language. Your heart and gut communicate in sensations. So for us, Amir, as coaches, it's important because when we say something about a sensation of the heart of the gut, the head translates it in words. So we can become aware which brain is talking. So now for, say, coaching, let's leave biology behind coaching and give an answer on what is the criteria how your heart, head, and gut decide. Your gut brain only thinks about yourself. It is me first, establish personal success and safety. What are the sensations? You can read them, Amir. Trust, relaxation, fear, anger, rage, lust, desire, hunger, and disgust. These are the same sensations actually a sea cucumber have to survive.
What was that again? I'm sorry, I just missed that.
The sensations are the same as a sea cucumber to survive. Or you could say a crocodile if that's what you prefer. Your heart, as an objective, has you and me first. To stay or to be connected. And the little child and the parents. Sensations you can read: love, compassion, persuasiveness, hate, sadness, guilt, shame. And especially hate, sadness, guilt, and shame are all sensations to keep us connected or give us a boundary should we stay connected. And then the head likes also me first, but does it by understanding, analysis, creating right predictions. Okay. So which criteria do you follow when you follow your dominant brain? If you follow your gut, you say we go for achievements and winning. What's the pitfall of the objective? You're being egocentric. It's all about me. What's the allergy if you work from the gut? Vulnerability or losing. If you work from the heart, it's all about connecting and empathy. Therefore, we as coaches need a heart brain. What's the pitfall? Self-sacrifice. Most coaches put their own needs last. They help their clients, their parents, their partner, their kids, the neighbors, and then themselves. What's the allergy? Confrontation and rejection. So, and if you think about the head, cause and effect analysis, give the right prediction. I did this yesterday, is it smart tomorrow? So what's the pitfall? It likes to give the perfect answer, hence it procrastinates. What's the allergy? Guessing and mistakes. So what do you see when we are living or coaching or your clients are working from one brain? They choose 1 out of 3. And secondly, they have different objectives to get to get you alive. Me, us, the right thing. Yes, Amir? Because I see Amir moving his screen.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
no, I was adjusting the volume. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Just the last sentence that you said, I missed that one.
No, so what you could see, they have different objectives.
أهداف مختلفی دارن.
One brain, you go
مغز
or logic.
مثلا مغز میره سراغ مثلا لاجیک یا مثلا منطق گرایی یا همون مثلا cause and effect یا مثلا.
I mean, just wait.
Hold on. Somebody else. Okay, I know there's a typing mistake. So this text you can read out loud, Amir. So your company, so you're now a manager of a job. Your company is working, your company you work for makes a severe loss. There's an urgent need to take action. The board decided 5 of your 10 employees should be made redundant. They all have the same competences. By the way, that is for the whole company. 50% has to go out. And we don't think about labor law and all this kind of stuff. And if you're done, the board gives you 4 options to think about. You let go of the 5 older employees. It's the best choice for production. Best choice for production. The job is physical. Based on age, we can assume those 5 employees will never find a job again, has severe negative effect on their income and finances. Secondly, they say you can also allow.
I just need some time to translate okay? Because
okay.
that's
No, okay. So then I see you, so I see you talking. That's good.
okay. And the funny thing is that in English, verb comes first, and in Persian, verb comes at the end, and it's a little bit difficult for us translators.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Carry on.
Okay, then option C is LIFO. You can read it here, the text. Before I start talking, you start talking. So the question is, what would you choose? A, B, C, or D? Based on this information. Now, put it in the chat so we have some interaction, some discussion.
I need to clarify C and D too. Okay. آره و شماره C اینه که شرایط C اینه که کسی که دیرتر پیوسته به کمپانی رو بخوام.
So Christopher, do you need to have breakout rooms here?
Yes, so I would say, no, the breakout room comes after this question. So after the answer, we go in breakout rooms for 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many people for each breakout room?
I would say 4 or 5 based on the number.
Okay, thank you.
So they can all talk. So we first give the answer here, and then they go in breakout rooms, because the question here, that's where they should go in breakout rooms.
Okay, thank you.
So they first have to say A, B, C, D. Yes, D. Even D.
I'm sorry. And this, and now they should decide which one they would go for.
Yeah.
A, B, C, or D in their groups.
Yeah. No. Okay. As first individual, what do they choose?
Mm-hmm.
And after they make the choice, I will give them the answer. Most of you will choose C or D. Why is that? D, yes, I know.
Not only because we are not sea cucumbers.
No, you're so right, because you have a heart or head brain dominance. And for the question for the breakout rooms, is how easily can you change to another choice? And I will explain why. Hold on, and everybody. The company is making a severe loss, urgent need to take action. Production is the best choice. A. So you have to change for A. How easily can you do that? And then you can make a couple of minutes breakout rooms and come aware, how easy is it for us to change? And what is actually stopping us? So if you make the breakout rooms, then the question is, how easily can you change and what is actually stopping you? And then the third question is on that, if it's hard for us to change, because that will be the answer, how can we expect from our clients to change? If we cannot change, what do we expect from our clients?
So the two main discussion topic would be how easy or severe and hard would be for you to change your idea from C or D using your heart and brain into effectiveness and efficiency A option. Easy or how difficult is it for you? And then if you take into consideration the severeness of this changing of your idea and decision making, how difficult and easy is it for your clients to do so?
Awesome, Hooman. Beautifully, you said it in such a beautiful English, I'm just jealous.
Come on, I loved all those things you shared, and that is the reason I'm so curious to know the results, and I'm into the topic.
So if you open breakout rooms, then in 5 minutes, we're back.
Okay, breakout rooms are open right now.
Okay, then I run to refill my glass of water. So,
بهار اتاق فارسی هم میرن؟
بله اتاق فارسی هن. شکوفه جان ما فارسی دیسکاس میکنیم اونجا.
میدونم اونجا انگار تقسیم نشدن هنوز دوستان.
چرا دارن میرن درخواست میره برای تک به تک دوستان. من
مترجمم، حالا شما باید با هم صحبت کنید.
it gives me an opportunity to stop for a moment and put this and this in skip. There. Okay, that's good. I'm not joining. Back again. So while we wait, we can ask, how easy was it for you to change your opinion from C or D?
We have something like 30 people here, 13 people here, which they are not in the breakout rooms. I'm going to ask all the people here who got our request to join a breakout room, please accept this request and join one of those breakout rooms. Thank you. So Hiba-Jan, do you have a problem with joining a breakout room?
I cannot see the message right now. I went in, but I was in another, I couldn't speak, so I had to come out and get back in, so I cannot go back in.
Let me see, how can I?
Thank you. I was in room 1.
Join again.
Thank you.
Okay, Hiba-Jan, you have something like 9 dots at the down part of your screen. You can click on that to see if you see the breakout rooms. Then you can join each of the rooms you want. Or in the activities, do you have something like that in the activities?
No, I can see breakout rooms, but then it doesn't have anything in it. It says your host can assign people to breakout rooms for small group conversation.
Now, the good thing is we are now 3 of us speaking English. We can also make our own breakout room here. And you can ask your colleague,
Yes.
how easy is it for you to change?
Very difficult. It is very difficult. I mean, changing like the rooms in the house, it takes a while for my brain and guts and heart to cope with it. And yes,
So
I've got loads of examples that how difficult change is for me.
So just imagine now you're coaching your clients and you expect them to change. And we just gave a logical explanation here. And probably people will, just like you, find it extremely hard.
Yeah.
But Christopher, I have a point here. Do we have to change? I mean, I have the objection about the change. I think normal, good people should have all the option inside the head.
Now, it's more to make people feel if a belief or a value is in your way or an experience, the change is extremely hard. Like, and this is a virtual situation, but you see severe loss, urgent need to take action.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you don't like it, to survive, you have to. So you have to go into your gut. But because I made the sentence, it's bad for the people to do so. People feel if I would skip the whole sentence as the job is physical, based on their age, etc. If I would skip that, people will have less issues with it. Because they don't see the consequence. I put a hard brain consequence in the gut. So people could feel bad about it. Hence, it's harder to make the decision. And I like to make aware, if your heart and gut have a discussion and they don't like it, it will not happen. So it's much more to become aware, if your heart or gut is not in it, change will not happen. So if you then go to your clients, if their heart or gut is not in it, you can coach them until they write 10 action plans, it will not happen. That's the whole idea behind this. It's not about the whole exercise, because the exercise is not important. It's to become aware, if I have a difficulty with change, how can I expect change for my client?
Okay, I'm so sorry, Christoffel. Is it a breakout room or is it just the main room? I don't know.
This is the main room. I'm in the main room. Eva had an issue with connecting with the breakout room, so we thought we can have a chat in between until the 5 minutes are over.
Okay. I think the
5 minutes is over.
It's over.
Okay. We
have got some questions. Can I put the questions to you, Christoffel?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but the first question is this one. Mr. Madifa, one of the participants, asked this question. Yes.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Can I wrap it up, this exercise, and take Christoffel's confirmation? Yeah. So first of all, as humans, we have heart, head, and gut. So the first choice that we were supposed to make was based on our human nature. It means that we have head, heart, and gut. So we, usually I made a choice D, we choose C or D. And you asked us to think about just efficiency, and we changed our choice into A, which is only efficiency based, just for the company, without heart and without head.
Yes.
That is something that happens. We don't have heart and head and just a gut.
Yeah.
And think about it, how difficult it is for humans, for our clients, to change their decisions and ignore their heart and their head. Am I right?
Absolutely. And add on that, if we have an issue as a coach, who are the most self-aware people who do a lot of self-development, then your clients, how easy is it for them? If we cannot, how can we ever expect it from our clients? Hence, the success rate of the 55%. Hiva raised the hand. Yeah. What's your question, Hiva?
I've got this question. I'm thinking about like having a diet or so, and then I choose it with my head and my heart, but then my gut just ruins everything. So I'm thinking about the vice versa change. Like, as you said, when I go into the store and my gut just messes with all the things that my brain has planned. So, yes.
And the other thing, in the solution part, if you know the needs of the three brains, your gut brain likes to survive, likes to have food, because that's their. Then before you make a decision about food, your gut must be happy. And so, say you would drink 1 liter of water, you will never go for a Coke anymore. So, if there's a huge need, your gut brain will take over. So first you have to create, say, what I call safety in the gut. The same actually is for the heart, but that's more value-based. And the head is logic. And I will wait till Amir translate our whole discussion, Hiva, before I think, oh, let's go on.
Yeah, I did the translation. I'm not behind. Go ahead.
Okay, go. And so, and this is exercise that just meant our heart changes. And if you don't coach all the three brains, you stay to the 55% success rate. Now, where are you? Oof, we had this done.
Okay, there is a question. Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Of course, maybe you gave the solution, but still, I want, because Mr. Maudika asked me to ask this question. Mr. Maudika said that one of the participants, he said Ali is his name. Ali said that he actually made decisions based on his heart brain, and generally his heart brain is dominant. And he says that how can I, for example, stay away from my heart brain and then, for example, become more of a head brainer or more of a gut brainer? He just had this question. I need to translate my own question again too, okay, so others who join us, they know what I'm saying.
Extremely good question, Amir. I will give the answer in a short thing. One, we are born genetically with a preference from our parents. Secondly, our socialization trains which brain becomes more dominant. So, example, if you are, say, the eldest in the family and you have little brothers or sisters, your parents can easily say, take care of your brothers or sisters. So they train your heart brain and let you not listen to your gut brain. Secondly, we get a lot of that educated in what I call conditional love. Be a good boy, Amir, take care of your sister. Be a good boy, Amir, set out the garbage. Be a good boy, Amir, buy the food. So then your doing is actually the reference of your being. And if that's happening, your heart brain gets so much trained that when we are adults, listening to that the most. That's the explanation why. The beauty is your brains are trainable, just like a muscle. So it is actually starting coming aware and asking yourself your question, what would I do if I would follow my gut? What would I do if I would wait one day and think it over? And you start training to start listening to them, because we have them all three. But it is really just like going to the gym, start training to listen to them. Now a zip so you can translate.
Yeah, I need some time to translate.
At this time, I go on to a kind of wrap up, if you let me.
Yes.
It is really obvious that if we ignore one of these three items, the thinking and the mind, the heart and the emotions and the gut, so the result would be different. Whenever we have one of them missed, or a kind of lack of a kind of emotion based on the heart, thinking and rational based on the mind or the gut and instinct, I think the result would be different.
Yeah, it is. And to sum up, what blocks change wellness and success? Now, one, the three brains have a different kind of objective and choose differently. So if you don't use the three, what you said, you do that. Secondly, your biology from your first 7 years will take over. Your habits and beliefs will take over, or a natural, but also one of your people just said, your dominant brains will take over. And try repetition, that's another thing that's there. So it's true, you fall back to one brain. Getting to know them all is the best. Now, how do you learn? Or how can you?
I think I missed the last slide. I'm so sorry. I was translating the previous part. Can you just, I'm so sorry, just can you go back to that slide again? I do the translations.
So what blocks success? One, that we have three brains, we have a different decision making. Do you see it, by the way, my slides? Or not? Oh, okay, then I do.
We don't see this slide.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Now they're there again. Sorry, Amir.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's absolutely fine.
So we have three different. That's the first thing that blocks. The second thing that blocks, I make it up, is one, your biology. That our biology doesn't like us to change, because that's not safe. Secondly, your habits, beliefs, and values or trauma stops you. What we just experienced with going for option A, efficiency. Or in general, when you have a dominant brain and you don't listen to the other ones. And we spoke about repetition, that it is not the most successful one. All good, Amir?
So give me some time to just.
Okay.
Sometimes I need to expand on it.
Take your time, Amir. It's all good.
Can I say something?
Of course, Eva. Well, Amir is
While they're
translating.
translating, yes. The other day, one of my colleagues was saying that you see some clients come and say, I'm happy with something, like I'm happy with how I work, but then my colleagues are not happy with me. And now I'm thinking that, okay, maybe that client is happy with only 1 or 2 brains, but it's not the happiness is not general. So
the other thing, just imagine, Eva, it's an extremely good question. So maybe Amir or you can translate. Just imagine.
Can you come the question again so that I can translate in this room too?
Yeah, please, Eva, please say the question again.
Sometimes some people are happy with like how they do something, but then their colleagues are not happy with them. It's just that they're only happy with themselves. That generally they're not doing something right.
Yeah. Okay. What my answer is most of the time in that part, while I put this slide on, just imagine that your client is a head-brain dominant person. So it likes to work in structure, processes, and step by step. The other colleague is a gut-brain dominant person. And that person likes to go quick, cut the corners, skip the details, let's go for success. So even then the head-brain dominant person is happy, the others are not happy because they have a different preference in working. So it's even not that the person is not happy, it just has a different way of working. It's almost like you put an accountant next to a salesperson. They get crazy of each other. The accountant likes to go step for step. The salesperson says, give me a final number. And that's because they have different kind of objectives. This one likes to do the right thing, and this one likes to have just success and have the things done. So when you coach people, it's also that's why I love the 3 minutes. It gives an insight if you work with teams, what is actually our preference, how we work. How's the preference, how we communicate. So if we know that from each other in a company, you can come aware and you can start accepting how we think and how we feel and how we work. Did you get that, Amir? Because I come aware it's a long explanation I did.
Yes, I did. Yes, thank you.
Good. Yes. So if you sum up everything when we like to learn, Amir, then your 3 brains, and you can see the text here, have 3 different criteria to learn.
I did the translation. Yeah.
Also this. Okay, so to sum up, and for us coaches now to come aware how we can use all of this, and I said, we verbalize everything we say. So that means when we talk about something, we can come aware which brain is talking. So Hifa, if you would listen to your client when she says, I'm happy about my work, then you could actually come aware of her language if she's more head brain dominant, heart brain dominant, or gut brain dominant. And from there, we can coach people to start using their other brains. Because the brains that are not talking, we can invite them in the coaching situation. Yes, and of course you still have to work on the beliefs and experiences if they block it, but that's another story. That's what you learn if you follow my training. So the cheapest option if you speak English is reading my book. I would say the most expensive option is following my training. But you can get a discount if you use this, especially for everybody who joined. And now I would say, if you like to stay connected, love to stay connected with you. And if you have questions, there's now time, but you can always, and I don't speak Persian, sorry for that. You can always WhatsApp me or email me in English, and ChatGPT, Google Translate does an amazing job to help you more. Because if you do good with your clients, this world becomes a better place. So I love to support you in that part.
Thank you. It is so nice of you. And as mentioned at last about your book, Relationships, Which Brain is Talking, it is really great that it is not only in our coaching sessions, but it is in our relationships. You know, in our coaching session, we need a kind of connection. And when we have the connection and trust, we can coach and be coached. And in our relationships, in our mutual respect and understanding, it is really important to know well, or better say, be well aware of all those dominant brains that we are using, and we are letting them decide and make decisions.
So if somebody has questions, Amir or Hifa or coaching network lady, not kidding, is more than willing to read them.
Yeah. Can you see the slide that was the name of your book? Participants are asking about the name of the book. Yes.
Sorry, I was, as you come aware, I'm more interested in saying, helping you than sharing the book. This is the this is
the name of the book. Yeah, the name of the book is
Relationships,
Which Brain is Talking, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Relationships.
Relationships, Which Brain is Talking. اسم کتاب هستش روابط و کدام مغز دارد صحبت میکنن. ترجمه
yes.
It has not been translated, right? It has not been translated. Maybe
only in Spanish, not in Persian.
In Spanish. Maybe I can do that for you, Christoffel.
No, I love to do so. I love to talk about it. I love to translate it in many languages. It will also become in Turkish.
Oh, good.
It's the easiest way for people to get to know of it, because it's the cheapest way.
Yeah. I'll definitely contact you. I've got everything here on my screen. I'll contact you and we talk together about translating that.
There are 90 million people living in Iran, so that's a huge market. I mean,
there is a huge market. Yes, and I'm quite sure that a lot of people are interested. And the topic is of actually public interest, because a lot of people have got issues actually with, I don't know, decision making, and they don't know really where it comes from. I think this can give them a clear picture of that.
It makes sense. So if you have questions, I hope Hifa now asks her client, if she talks about I'm happy, from which brain is dominant in your case, heart, head, or gut. and then talk about the colleague, and you know probably right away that they communicate on different levels.
Yeah, exactly. And for the great suggestion of Amir, translating into Persian, I should add that Persian speakers are not limited to Iranians, about 90 million, but to more than 200 million around the world in Afghanistan, Tajikistan, India, and some other
Amir,
countries.
we have to talk, Amir.
Even in Pakistan. Yeah, I'll definitely get in touch with you, Christoffel. I'll definitely do it.
Wow, 200 million. Okay, so, and by the way, I love history and all those kind of things, and I love to learn. So thank you for sharing that, Hooman, because I know you also have a diaspora, so you've been all over the world, but I didn't know that, say, you beautifully kept your language alive. It's beautiful to hear. So, questions? What would you like to know? What would you like to share? What would you like to say? Whatever it is.
Until the time we have the questions, I want to thank you so much. These information, those experiences you have had, and all those things you mentioned about those researchers, it is really wonderful to be aware of these things and have in mind and make them a kind factor in our decision making, and also give chance to our clients to have the same.
And what I did already, Hooman, I sent you and Hami already the email with the slide pack on PDF.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're going to send them. Yeah, share the slides.
Yeah, I believe sharing is caring. So
yeah, exactly, it is. Yeah, thank you so much. It is so nice of you, and we are going to share it with all those participants through a Iranian coaching network. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm extremely grateful that I'm being invited to talk to you and to present to you. And that's a beautiful honor. When I got the invite, I thought, wow. And I thought, where's the Persian network? That should be Iran, isn't it? But now we heard you have 200 million, so it's Iran and the whole world. But it's beautiful to do that, because this is a country otherwise I would never visit by myself, language-wise. So I'm extremely grateful you gave me the opportunity.
It was ours as well, this opportunity and this chance. Thank you for your time and your valuable experience, knowledge, and those skills you shared with us. And of course, it is great to go further, have more communication, and maybe cooperation with Amir or anybody else. It is really open, and thank you so much for being here and sharing with us these great, valuable knowledge, skill, experience, and all those things we had.
Awesome. Thank you so much for everybody I see there. Hami, Hooman for inviting me, Hifa for also asking the questions, and if I pronounce it, Katayun, if I pronounce it correctly, for being here. Okay,
yes,
because I read the names and think, ooh.
I have always this problem with international networks. They cannot pronounce my name easily.
No, I have the same with Sneijders, so I feel you.
Yeah, not a problem. And always I receive this feedback that maybe you're Japanese or the name come from Japan, which is amazing. I never heard such a this thing, or I think Iranian networks never think that Katayun came from Japan, but yeah, I received this feedback always from my international network. So I wanted to say hi to you, Christoffel, and regarding the presentation that you kindly offered today. Unfortunately, I arrived too late due to my personal meetings scheduled today, but to me, it was really amazing because I'm working in leadership development and cultural change for over 10-11 years. And I never see such this nice expression of different brains and how they can communicate with each other. And more than this, it's amazing that even I work with external consulting companies like McKinsey, Deloitte, and they never, at least on the surface, they never touch this beautiful content when they design leadership development content for their customers.
No, I know Katayun because a friend of mine also works with Ernst & Young. It is you could call old science and new science, and it's hard to get the new science in a thing. But I always say, if people have to embed it, they have to start learning all again. And
Yes.
change, as we became aware, is not easy. You speak English, why I say that. On my website, I also have a download or the webinars I did for ICF this week about this in English and also the slide pack. So it is
Oh,
only...
that would be great. I am also in ISEF, in International Coaching Network of Germany.
So if you go to my website, and I will put it in the chat if I can find the chat again.
Thank you.
Where is the chat? Oh, it's there. Yeah, you can hear I'm not an expert in what's the name? Three Brains Intelligence.com. Intelligence. You can hear I'm dyslexic, so I always have to speak out. But this is my website.
Yes.
And in there, you will find in free resources, you find the ICF 2025, and there you find, say, the recordings and downloads. So also the slide pack. Not this one, but really in English.
Thank you.
And again, bring it to the beautiful Persian world, Katayun, Hifa, and all the others who are there. Shokufei, I hope I pronounced that correctly.
You pronounce
thank
it
you very much
correctly.
indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Amir. I love to hear from you.
Yeah, definitely
again,
get in touch.
last time.
I'll definitely get in touch with you. I'm an international actually trainer too. I hope we can do things together. I'm quite sure there's great potential. Yeah, there's great potential.
I already have say now a partnership with somebody in Turkey, an MCC.
Oh, good then.
Deliver my training in Turkey. One, I'm talking about, say, in the Russian market. I would love to know that somebody's doing the Persian market, because
I would be more than glad to help you promote this three-brain intelligence. I'm quite sure that there's a lot of actually, I would say, market for it, because there are a lot of people like therapists, coaches, they would like to see things from a different angle, and this brings that beautiful perspective. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
Be aware, Amir, Katayun, who speaks English, Hifa speaks English, Hooman speaks English before they are quicker than you. Kidding.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was really well to see you all. I wish you a beautiful time, and that's
fantastic. Bye bye. Take good care and stay well, Christopher. Can't wait to talk to you. Stay well.